Awesome. Yeah, I think it's important that while we're getting everybody in and on board here for the Zooms as we wait to the 8:05 approach there to just share that and get everybody excited and share a little bit of success. This really is the only time we all talk together throughout the week as a big group.
Yeah, and I know I just saw a question that came across from Kim. Kim, remember at the end of this too, if we haven't covered it, she was asking about some pet promotional materials, and remember to bring that up if we don't cover it at the end when we're into the Q&A section. And there's Marilyn Henderson. Welcome, Marilyn. And I see my buddy Sean Tusky has joined us again.
And I just want to remind everybody, I am recording this. So if you would like a copy to be able to send here, warm leads, hot leads, ambassadors that are signed up underneath you, anybody that couldn't join us, please reach out to me. Probably the easiest way, I'm going to put my email on the bottom and just put record you want the Zoom recording. So I'll put that right now.
I love it. People are asking questions already. So remember those questions. I'm not sure who, again, regarding the pet samples, remember if we don't cover that to bring that up at the end in the Q&A so we can address that. And Billy, whenever you're ready to get started, what do we got, about 8:05?
Yeah, I was just sending over there in the chat bar. So everyone go take a look at that, write it down, send me an email if you would like a recording of this. So I'm going to go ahead and get this fired up. Thank you guys again for joining us on another Tuesday Reaction Zoom meeting. This is exciting for me every week. I really look forward to this. I know a lot of my personally sponsored people and other ambassadors throughout the company or even people that are VIPs or potential future ambassadors for us get on here and enjoy this. This is really inspiring. We're so blessed to have Jeff join us every week. He's changed my life a lot with his different views and professional business approach to this versus I'm a little wild sometimes and I'm running everywhere I go. So it's been a blessing for me to be able to have him here by my side to give you guys the best information that we can each week. So Jeff Arbaugh, thank you. The stage is yours, buddy.
Well, I'm glad to be here. And just so everybody knows, around the office, Billy referred to me once as the guy with the wisdom and the gray hair. So that's the way he described me. So I'm going to go ahead and take that in the spirit in which I think it was intended. Billy, thank you very much. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you all have had a great week. It's been a good one down here. A couple of announcements. We have talked over the last couple of weeks about some materials we have been trying to generate for you. I think one of the big things that we hear about from everybody is putting together some sort of comprehensive document. So when somebody says, for instance, do you have anything you can send me or send me some information? One of the realities of whoops, somebody, okay. Ryan, thank you very much. Okay, I'll keep talking. And we have put together a couple of things that are now available in the back office. We now have a PDF, which is still a work in progress. We're going to add to that. But it is a PDF that you can send to people that has 3 solid pages about, and it's a lot of information, but 1 page each, about the product, about your endocannabinoid system, and also about our process. I think that's the one thing is people don't somehow feel equipped with all the information to talk about it with people. And so we've put that together, and hopefully that will be an introduction. It is not by any means designed to answer every single question, but it should at least give people an idea of what it is that we have here as far as our product line. That is available in the back office right now. We also have added a glossary of terms, which is more for your own education. There's a lot of network marketing mumbo jumbo and a bunch of words and a bunch of fancy phrases that, sounds like, Greek to people who haven't done this before. So there's a glossary of terms. You can look over that, and it describes hopefully definitions of most of the terms you'll be dealing with, and it helps you kind of, get up to speed with some of those things. Tonight, we're going to be doing a couple of giveaways as well. We are going to be giving away a hat, first of all. And number two, we're going to be giving out a pet syringe. Now, if the person that wins the pet syringe doesn't have a pet, well, maybe we'll be able to swap it out for something else, as opposed to making you use the syringe for yourself. Anyway, I think that's it for the announcements. We've got a couple of videos that we've been talking about. We're supposed to have those, I think, this week. And we are already working on a schedule for hopefully a whole series of videos which you can access, and you can also steer people towards as well. That helps, break down information. They'll be short, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, that kind of thing. And hopefully you feel comfortable, kind of steering people towards them if they have more questions for you than you feel unequipped to answer for some point. So when it came down to the topic for tonight, we kind of go with what we've been hearing as far as the questions for people. And we have a lot of questions for people regarding, again, the business of this. How do they get started? What if they're struggling, et cetera, et cetera. The first thing I want to say to everyone, I don't think there's a person here on this teleconference or in the organization up to date that isn't here because of the product. We are all here because we believe in the product, we had a personal experience with it, or we gave it to a friend and they had a personal experience. So let's just preface that, because I want to make it very, very clear. Nobody is asking anybody to sell anybody anything that they don't believe in, nor is the main focus adding bodies to this company. It is not about adding bodies and, getting rich quick, as they say. We're here because we believe in the product. Now, I also believe that, we're also here to make a little bit of money for our investment of time as well, as we all should. But I did want to say that we're all here because we believe the product is the best available. And I wanted to preface what we're going to talk about tonight. I also will say that there are lots of different types of people that we have so far that have joined us, and we all have different reasons, and we all have different objectives and goals. And it's really important to understand that, because not everything I say here tonight is going to be for everybody. I learned about Facebook long ago that not everything somebody posts is about me or for me. So if I don't agree with it, don't like it, don't think it's funny, I just don't give it any energy and I move on. So it's going to be up to you guys to decide, how much you want to take out of each of these categories. The topic for tonight is 7 simple steps to success. Now, there are some people that literally, have some very modest goals. I don't know of anybody that gets in that's, investing time in the Zooms that isn't thinking, at least, let me figure out how to pay for my product. There are people that think, well, I want maybe a little bit more than that in exchange for my time. And I'd like to be able to make, a little extra cash, on a monthly basis. So whether that's 200, 400, 500, 1,000, 2,000, that's up for you to decide. Now, some of these things I'm going to be talking about tonight are for people really interested, I think, in treating this as a business. And where it's a business for everybody, the way you go about it might be a little different if you're just trying to make $400 or $500 a month, or if you want to build something that in 2 years can result in a pretty substantial income. And so it's important. I think with network marketing, again, I only had one experience at this, and I've been reading and I've been trying to identify things that work for people. Another thing is that not everything works for everybody. I have my own style. Billy has his. You'll all develop your own in terms of how to introduce people to the product, or to be, open and aware of an opportunity to speak about the product. Most people don't they don't fail. They essentially quit. And that's what happens in network marketing. Some people get in and they exhaust their very close circle of friends and family. And when they don't get it, they get discouraged and they quit. I've always asked, whether it's $400 a month or whether it's the substantial, residual income you're looking for, you do have to kind of treat this as a business. And you can plug anything in here. You can say it's, our wonderful full spectrum products, or I use the example of, let's say you started your own printing company. And to apply some of the same concepts that you would use if you had started your own printing company, for instance. The first thing, I know that if you started your own printing company, you would find a way to talk to people about it as if you were able to offer something that other people weren't, or be at least as good as the competition, if not better. So I think it's important to kind of approach it as as a business, and to not get discouraged, to stay patient. With my trade show business, and I've used as an example several times in the last couple of weeks, I honestly felt that when I went into a meeting, there was no reason why they shouldn't work with me. I believe that very deeply. And I also knew that there were people out there looking for me. My job was to help them find me. There are people out there right now that don't know about this product, that are suffering from health issues, conditions, situations that this product can help with. They're looking for you. So my kind of, I guess, challenge, for lack of a better word, is to say, what are you doing to help them find you? Okay? Don't get discouraged because your family and friends aren't interested. As I've learned, and I've looked into this, that's not what anybody builds a successful business on, is just their friends and family. They'll help you start maybe, but if they don't, you got to move on. We talked last week about some of the things that you guys can employ using Facebook and some other social media. I don't know how many people looked into that, but I've continued to research this week. I've personally come up with a couple of little things that I'm trying. I know Billy's doing some things as well that we're going to share with you tonight. And again, it's finding out what works best for you in terms of making it easy for you to introduce the product to people. And ultimately, if they're interested, the business as well. The first step of the 7, I think, is perhaps the most important because it's what everything else is built on. And I'm going to be referring to my notes here, so I hope you guys don't feel like I'm looking away from you. But it's called determining your why. And I think that's really important because it goes into, I think, your mindset of how you approach everything else. There's some very tangible, palpable things we're going to be talking about tonight that we've talked about in the past. But I think it's important to determine your why. Why are you doing this? And again, we're talking about that business now. Now, whys can be different for different people. So some people, the why might be, well, I have a health issue and I just want to do the product, and that's wonderful. Some people, the why, of course, combined with the product, is also about because they want to generate a little extra income. And it's entirely possible to do that here. Again, so what is it you're looking for? I think it's really important to be very tangible and very specific with your goals and your objectives. Again, whether it's introducing your friends, having some fun, making $200-300 a month, that's okay. Is it $1,000 a month? Is it $2,000 a month? $5,000 a month? It's up to you to determine your why. Are you looking to pay for a car? Are you looking to pay for your mortgage? Are you looking to put a kid through school? It's really important, I think, that you define what your goals are and your whys are for yourself. And I think that when you put things out, again, in the universe in a very tangible way, that's the first step towards actualizing them. So I think you definitely need to determine the why. The next step, number 2, and by the way, we're going to hopefully do a transcript of this so that you can access it. We'll either email it out or we'll make it available in the back office. So you can either write these 7 steps down now, or you can access them in your back office at a later time. The second thing is what we call making a commitment and being consistent. Again, this comes down to patience. This comes down to treating your business like a business. You have a business here, and I've said this. You have a business with a product that you cannot get anywhere else. If somebody came to me on the street and said, "Hey, I've got a business, and you can't get this product anywhere else, and I'm going to give you, semi-exclusive rights to sell it among your friends and everything," I'd want to listen, because it's not something you can get everywhere else. Being committed and being consistent with your time. Again, you can go out and read a ton of books. There's material out there. And we're going to get to what we call IPAs in a little bit here, which are called income producing activities. There are books, there are videos, YouTube stuff all over the internet. And it comes down to something that we've all, I think, come to recognize as the habits of successful people, because they all have, several things in common. Being committed and being consistent with your time and you're consistent with your approach is very important. Number three, it's to block out some time. My question from me and for all of us, at the end of the day, if we ask ourselves, because I believe that wishing something were so doesn't make it so. You have to actually take action, and you have to do things. And it does come down to how much you do and how much do you do during the time that you have. We're all busy. But if you have an hour at night, what are you doing? I mean, I ask this myself all the time. I can't complain at the end of the day if I'm no further along today than I was yesterday, if I really haven't done anything. So my question is, what are you doing? And I'm not, this is not for me to challenge you. This is for you to challenge yourself. If you actually want to create a situation that may help you out financially, for instance, and again, allow you to take a vacation or, get a car, get a boat, whatever it is that you have determined is your why. What are you actually doing to make that happen? So blocking out some time to do things like research or education or, again, talking with friends about it and things like that. And notice we're not talking about going out and, again, beating your friends over the head with, hey, I've got some full spectrum extract CBD you have to try. We haven't even mentioned that. These are about habits that I think that you kind of have to, look in the mirror and say, well, what am I doing to make myself better, than I was yesterday? So blocking out time to do those things for, again, IPAs, income producing activities. So for instance, if I lay on the couch and watch football, which admittedly I like to do sometimes, I'm not sure I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be in a place that's a whole lot different than I was this morning. So again, are you accessing, again, what's available on the internet alone about, how to be more successful, whether it's habits, et cetera, et cetera. I encourage you to find out what you can do in terms of, again, even if it's an hour a day, half an hour a day, do something. Just do something. I said this 2 weeks ago. Do one thing every day. Do one thing every day and do it every day. And you'll see, where you are in 30 days or 60 or 90 or a year from now. I think that's really important. The next, number four is some of you, I don't know, may or may not see the value in this, but it's called making a list. And pretty much every source that I've looked at in terms of how to create a successful network marketing business all has this in common, making a list. Now, that doesn't mean you make a list of 30 people and you get on the phone and you start badgering them about your product. Again, it's how you introduce the product. It's important when you're making this list. Once again, like I talked about last week, don't make decisions for people. I've got too many stories to even tell you about somebody that I kind of brought up and mentioned it to them, and it turns out they really didn't see the need for them to use it, but their mother was suffering from vertigo, for instance. This person has ADHD. This person has migraines. So by making a list, again, when you put things out there in a very real way, that's the first step, as I said, to actualizing them. So don't shy away from that. And it's not about, again, making a list and then beating these people senseless with what we're doing. Some people need to be introduced. As we talked about in marketing, it takes, I think, 7 touch points before somebody says yes. So make a list, make it palpable, make it tangible. And you never know who in their life might be able to benefit from these products. So again, make a list, make a list, make a list. Those are the first 3 things on your list. Make a list. This really is a business concept that can be applied to any business across the spectrum. But set a plan of action. If you're a business and you're looking for somebody to invest, or you're looking for somebody to, loan you money, or somebody to even jump in as a partner or as an employee, you require a business plan. So I'm wondering how many of us have actually sat down and thought, what's my plan of action? Where do I want to be in 5 months? Where do I want to be in a year? Where do I want to be in 2 years? I think a lot of us in this company and other companies get into it, and we have a stigma that we carry around with us, which is the idea that we're going to get rich quick. I heard a great phrase the other day, which is, this is not about getting rich quick. This is about getting filthy rich in 24 to 36 months. And again, you can plug in your own why and what your goals are. And I'm not suggesting that you do this for 2 years or 3 years with no success whatsoever. Moderate success along the way is very important. But it is about, again, defining what it is that's important to you about this. Number 6, as I mentioned in the email correspondence that went out to y'all, is, and again, this is really important too. You know what? I guess they're all important. Otherwise, there'd be 13, of which we would say 7 of them are important. All 7 are important. Getting tapped in, whether it's this Zoom, whether it's some of the other things that are available to you, whether it's reading, checking your back office, reading the material, researching stuff like this. Getting tapped in is really, really important. What we're doing here on Tuesday nights, I would hope that you feel comfortable, all of you, to invite people to come kind of see what we're doing. Because I think it's important that they see, again, our approach, the how and the why that we're doing this, and also the fact that there's energy in numbers. It's a proven fact. So I would hope that you would think that there was value to them with regard to just getting a sense of the culture we're trying to create. When I came on board with Candace, I will tell you, the thing that impressed me the most was the solid mission that she had. And she says it on an almost daily basis. Candace is not in this to make money. And I'm not going to share any personal details. But if there's anybody out there that thinks Candace is sitting at the top of the tree making $1 gazillion, you're wrong. Candace isn't even in the tree. And Candace, I don't know if I can say this. You might shoot me tomorrow. Candace has not made a dime. Not a dime. And it's not important to her at this point. You know why? Because her mission is to share this product with the world. And I know it might sound hokey to a lot of people, but that's what drives her. Because of her own, personal story, her own personal situation. That's what drives her, is sharing this with the world. That's why I'm here. I hope it's part of, if not all of, why you all are here as well. So, Candace, sorry about that for the little detour there. But getting plugged into these Zoom meetings, if you have people saying I might be interested, see if you can get them to join in, because again, they can see the culture we're trying to create here, which is really one based on some very basic principles of helping people, having fun, and making a little bit of money. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Number 7, I'm going to have Billy talk a little bit about this when I'm finished, but it's basically becoming knowledgeable about the products and the business as well, the compensation plan. It's important to know that not everybody needs to know everything there is to know about the product, about the extraction process, about the comp plan, the ins and outs, and all the different ways you make money and all that kind of stuff. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough that you can believe in it. And that's important. So again, what's able to be accessed on the back office now under the library, if you go to, I think it's called the business, the product, or no, the science, the product, the business. And it's an overview. If anybody has any questions about the products and our extraction process, because without fail, almost once a day, I get asked from people, so what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say when they ask me why our product is better? Well, you know what? If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, if you have not had the time or can't memorize it or commit it to memory, these documents will give you everything you need to know. One little detour again, Billy, before I turn this over to you. I'll tell a little story of my days in Hollywood. I had several situations in my life where I had things, work that I created, that I had written or created, that were taken from me. I wrote a script that was essentially, it was taken, it was stolen from me and made into another movie. I had other material. I had a play that I wrote that was developed as a pilot presentation for the networks. We thought CBS was going to buy it. They didn't. Passed on it, said they had a show in development that was too similar. And I watched their show, the pilot episode that aired, and I'll be daggone if the entire first scene wasn't lifted from my pilot presentation word for word. I've had other people who I'm not going to name, and I'll tell you why in a second, that have taken from me, just flat out taken it from me. And, it kind of bothered me for a long time. And my friends would say, Jeff, you should feel flattered enough that they would think your stuff is good enough to steal. So it'll be a long time to process that. But imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. There are people on the landscape now that are kind of trying to adopt some talking points that I think we're kind of popularizing, and we've connected the dots, certainly. My point is, if we weren't good, if we weren't as good as we are, if we weren't the best, there wouldn't be people trying to copy us. They do not have the capabilities or cannot recreate our process. They don't have our machines, and they don't have some of the other stuff. But there are people out there trying to copy us. We're the best. We're the best on the market. So again, sorry for that little story there, Billy. But again, we'll put these things in print for you guys, hopefully, and we can break these down in more depth as well, if you all are interested. Billy?
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. That was very, very inspiring there. And definitely, I think it will help everybody, especially as you can visually see these 7 topics. The one that stands out to me the most is definitely number 7, about being knowledgeable and with the product and the plan. And as you guys noticed, that was last on the list. It's not the most important thing that we're doing. The most important thing is obviously the 6 steps that we're ahead of that. The reason this is last, and kind of, in my opinion, to summarize on that, you don't need to know it all. You don't need to have this down perfect. You don't need to be Slick Willy with the approach of going at these people, because it really does throw up red flags. The biggest thing that you need to know is the differences in CBD and FSC, and know that there's no such thing as a full spectrum CBD product. Again, the website, feelthereaction.com, click on what is FSC. I know Jeff just mentioned that. That is huge. And you guys wouldn't believe there was I don't think Jeff mentioned this, but there's now a hit counter on the website just to see how many people are really reaching out to it. It would blow your mind how many people are researching what this is. This is something that's getting spread so fast. And we are the front. All of us as ambassadors, we're leading this mission, and I feel like we're going to be mission accomplished. And it's positive, it's exciting, and it's different. So I highly encourage everybody to get on there. If you haven't, check that out on the website. Again, that is what is FSC. It's a tab on there. Please check it out. And as Jeff mentioned, it tells everything about us and why we're here and what we're doing and why it's different. So that's the number 1 step to this, and it is, in my opinion, the most important. So yeah. I just want to touch on a few things, and Jeff, yell at me if I
just in closing, I want to kind of bookend this with what I had said at the very beginning, that if people are struggling to get going, and all that kind of stuff, again, let's just keep finding ways to help you be better this week than we were last week, for instance. And because in something like this, as I said last week, the challenge is the fact that we're talking about something brand new. We're talking about something that nobody knows about, much less how good we are, how good the product is. And so this is really not a case of failing at something, but rather quitting too soon. I think there's a great quote, too, by Thomas Edison, which escapes me now, but I'll see if I can look it up for next week. But, yeah, so be patient, hang in there, and let's keep finding ways to make this better.
Yeah, and I want to touch on the next thing that Jeff said that really stuck at me, and that was the have fun part. If you guys know me, you know my personality. I have fun with this every day. Not only seeing the smile on people's face as I think that can really help better their life, but just in being able to talk to people on a personal level. That's what this is designed for. So today I was sitting there talking to a new ambassador, kind of walking them through the ins and outs, and I was actually helping Lindy with one of her new signups. So she's like, okay, well, he's got an hour here. So I sit down on the couch and I get him logged into his back office and I'm everything. And I looked right at him and I was like, you know, the way that I'm looking at this is like you're a flower bulb. And, you know, one day I'm going to grow you into this beautiful flower. And that's kind of my looking at everybody. And I know Jeff mentioned flowers last week, and it was something that I chuckled on. But if you look at everybody, and everybody's a different flower, and they're going to bloom at different times, and it's all about time. Life is about time and when to approach people. And, you know, are they going to be a retail customer? Are they going to be a VIP? Or are they going to be an ambassador? Don't beat the bulb while it's still trying to bloom into this beautiful flower, right? The idea here is everybody needs to get these products and consume them and build a testimonial forward with a personal testimony. That's what's going to build a strong leader out of them. That'll build a rose bush out of this individual. That's what I want us to look at when we're talking products and speaking face to face with people, is figure out timing and figure out just how much fertilizer and water this flower is going to need to turn into this beautiful flower. But just don't beat them too soon. That's the biggest thing. And I know Jeff mentioned about, you know, beating your family over the head and trying to get them to sign up. That's the last thing you want to do. It kind of brings me to a point of have fun with this and do things that are a little bit different. Get outside of the box a little bit. Kind of put some feelers out there and tell people about what you're doing. Always incorporate Reaction and My Life Simple into your daily business and journeys. I recently I was sitting there yesterday and it was like a light bulb turned on. I got online and I thought about some strategies that I use in the other business with the e-liquid industry and CBD through a different company with Arch. And what we do is we get contact lists and we look through there and we try to strategize on how to approach these people. I was like, why can't I get a list on this on a personal level? So I got on the internet and I started researching about MLM lists and people that are potentially interested. If you guys do this, and I'm giving you my little trick because I think it's going to work. It's way outside if you ask me, but I purchased a few people. I'm going to do a little email blast and send some feelers out. I feel like that's some way to approach people that are probably willing and able to listen to something that could potentially be a great future for them. So I don't want to drag on too long about that, but I just want to give you guys a little bit about what I'm doing that's a little bit different right now.
And
Jeff?
Great, Bill. Just one last thing that you brought up, something that was really, really important that I wanted to say, but I forgot, but you triggered it. I know we use words like business and a bunch of very serious words. Billy brought up something that's very important. It's very important to me in everything I do, including my other businesses, and that's to have fun. So we talk about what are you willing to do and, you know, how much you're willing to work and business and all these serious. This is about having fun. Work isn't work unless you'd rather be doing something else. And so this to me isn't work because I have people that need to tell me to shut up sometimes because I talk too much. And Denise, I know you're out there listening. So she's like, okay, that's enough. But this is about having fun and feeling good about what we're doing. And it is something that we can and we should be feeling good about. So yes, Billy, I'm glad you brought that up. Have fun. This is not overly serious. And we're doing a really, really great thing, I think. So anyway, let me know, Billy, because we have the winners announced from our remote location by Price Waterhouse.
Yes, let's do that. And remember,
right.
everybody, I know there were some people that got cut out at the end of last week. Just you have to be present at the end to be eligible to win the prizes. So thank you guys for sticking it out. Jeff, let's give some stuff away.
Great. Once again, the drawing was held at a remote location, top secret, private, by Price Waterhouse, and the results are in. The winner of the hat, it's one word here that's been texted to me, and it says Joy Lynn. Is that two names? Joy Lynn. Do we know? Is it one word? Joy Lynn.
It should be Jolynn.
Jolynn.
Jolynn. So Jolynn's still with
Jolynn.
us?
If Jolynn is still with us, then Jolynn is the winner of the hat.
I think she's muted right now, but she is. Okay. She is with us. So congratulations, Jolynn. Thank you for sticking it out with us here.
Got it. And drum roll, please, for the winner of the pet syringe. Let's all put our fingers together or our hands together and cross our fingers that this person has a pet. The winner of the pet syringe is Alex Yonchuk. Did I say that right?
All right. Yeah.
Uh-oh, there's Jolynn. There's Jolynn.
Oh, it's Sharon.
Winner.
Yes, we
No, that's Sharon. Sharon and Alex. Congratulations. Those are some of my people. So congrats. Thank you guys for joining us, and hopefully this will work out. I do believe they have pets.
Awesome. Next week we'll be having a drawing for a dog. I'm sorry.
Something to go along with your products.
Exactly. But no, congratulations to you guys. All right.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Billy just went blank on my screen, but okay. So let's talk. Who's got questions? Is anybody still there?
Let's ask something. Let's ask this. Have we got any great testimonials besides Lindy's? We all seen Lindy's testimonials. Her pets really knocked it out of the park on the testimonial zone. But is there anybody else that has been able to get the products and build up some excitement through the pet side of this, since that is something new?
I have one.
If there's anybody, I see the chat bar going crazy.
I have one.
Is that Marilyn talking now?
What you got, Melody?
Okay. I had been using the Revive cream for about everything. And then I went to the recovery for all of because I bruise very easily. Oh my God. Within like 2 days, my bruises were gone.
Awesome. Thank you, Melody. That's what it's all about right there.
And Marilyn, I think you had a question or a testimony about a human, I think is what your note said.
I do. I have a friend who has gone through breast cancer, and she just she finished up 8 weeks of radiation therapy on her underarms and the side of her breast. And she was having a lot of problems having it, she had radiation burns on the side of her breasts. And I gave her the Revive cream, and she used it for a week, and it cleaned up the burns. Up to that point, she couldn't really wear a bra on her breast. She couldn't, she didn't like having clothing next to her breast. But after a week of using the cream, it was completely healed. And she was so incredibly, she said, oh my God, I've been eating all different kinds of like first aid cream and aloe vera, and nothing helped. And she was amazed that the cream helped her. So,
that's great to hear, Marilyn. It's great to hear. And it's not the first time I've heard somebody with conditions like that. And I've had a couple of friends that have actually had surgery, various surgeries, and didn't want to use the product that the doctor had given them. And once again, I'm not making any medical claims here, just in case I'm being recorded. They didn't want to use the cream. Number one, the cream that they had gotten caused them, several people got rashes from it. And it was also like $50 for like a little bit. And I've heard from people that have been using the recovery cream on some of their scars and things like that, and are just completely blown away about the result. So thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Great to hear.
I was also going to ask, are there trifold brochures coming out for the pet products?
Yes, I believe. Billy, you can tell me whether those are going to be available in the back office. I know we're going to have those printed out. In fact, they're at the printer, I believe, right now, and we're scheduled to get them, I think, on Thursday. So they'll be available if you want to order some. And I will check, but I think we might also have the file, or at least the graphic, available in the back office. And I've seen them, and they look great. Ronnie's done a great job. They look awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very excited. Anyone else with any questions?
All right, is there anybody else?
Comments?
Don't be shy now.
All right, I got one.
All right, who's this?
This is
All
Teresa.
right.
Hello, Teresa.
Hi. I know people wanted to hear about the pet products. I don't know if anybody's gotten them yet, but I have access to them. I have a pit bull. He's actually allergic to grass. So he's 7. We've actually battled it his whole life. He's been on medicine for it. He has a special shampoo, and it will take it away for a couple of days. But now I give him the tincture at night, and I do actually the syringe. I only do that like once a week, but it's helped him tremendously.
That's awesome to hear. I never heard of a dog being allergic to grass, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I actually have him on a special diet too. He can't really have grains and stuff like that. So.
Wow.
Huh.
I know somebody asked us
Teresa.
about well, you're going to have samples for the pets. And there's 2 things I want to mention, but I don't know that there's any immediate plans to have samples for the pets. One of the reasons, and this is not the sole reason, but literally the extra step in the process to create packaging and everything else, and the manufacturing kind of line is not simple to execute. I don't know. Maybe someday we'll have samples. I think what the conversation has been is how do you test a sample on a dog or a cat? And it's like, I know Lindy posted a video of her dog talking the other day, and Billy's got one of his talking pig, who talks about how much they love the products. But I don't know, other than again, I'm such a firm believer in getting people to try the product for more than just a sample size, a week, 2 weeks, or 30 days. And so I don't know, unless somebody can kind of educate me. I'm not sure what we would hope to experience, again, with a dog, if you gave him a sample, like, oh, I felt really relaxed today or something. It might be more of a consistent kind of protocol that needs to be adhered. So at this point in time, nothing is immediately forthcoming, but we'll never rule anything out. Second thing is, somebody asked me, and I'm sorry, Billy, there was somebody asked me the other day, and I forget who it was. If you're here, you can identify yourself. But they were going to ask if we had any promotional items for animals, like would we do a little reaction collar for dogs or cats? And they're like, I'd get one. So that's kind of being kicked around. And you know what? We may have some collars and leashes and things like that available before too long. We'll see.
Yeah, I want to touch on that, where you were saying about not really being able to give a testimonial. The way I look at it, and I'm an animal lover through and through. I have pet ducks and rabbits and a pig and a horse dog. So I believe that, the way I look at these products is, if it's good for me, it's got to be good for my dog. They have an endocannabinoid system just like we do, CBD1, CBD2 receptors. So just the best thing that we can do is try it on them and see what it does. Obviously, we can't make any medical claims with animals just like we can't with humans. It's definitely worth giving them a shot and just seeing how it goes for you. So I know there's a ton of pet products out in the market, and I personally haven't seen any sample size bottles of anything. Just believe in the products and what we have here, and kind of transition that over towards the pet line, and that's share your positivity on that side of it.
Yeah. And Billy, there was a question, I think it was Marilyn from Florida that I was talking to last week. And she had asked about the practicality, I guess, of somebody mentioned giving puppies the product last week. And she was wondering about the practicality of that. And I think it's important to understand, again, what this product does. It doesn't cure symptoms necessarily. It helps your body do what it's supposed to do. It opens your receptors to then send signals and to heal or to restore or whatever it is that the process requires at the time. I lost my mom to dementia, as a lot of you know, 6 months ago. Boy, what I wouldn't have given to have this product available 30 years ago, for instance. So my thought about that is there's no side effects associated with this. There are no toxic levels of any kind. So why wait till something's wrong? I mean, a part of a protocol, again, if the wheels aren't squeaking, then keep them well oiled. And that's my response. So, Madeline, I think we talked about that last week, but I wanted to bring that up for everybody, is that I think it should be part of a protocol for for humans and animals. And that's not just cats and dogs. That's horses and pigs, Billy. Okay, there's a great question from Alex. There are no dosages that are basically approved, and it has to do with I think FDA regulations, where they cannot make any claims to what proper dosages are. However, I've been doing a lot of research on the pet stuff this week regarding veterinarians and other things. There was a veterinarian in Colorado who has come up with what she has learned to be a pretty good dosage recommendation. I will see if I can find that. Alex, if you reach out to me, or we can put it in an email or put it in the back office, if we can do that. I don't know if we can make official recommendations either as a company, but she kind of had it broken down. In humans, of course, it's not like alcohol. It's not like if you're big and weigh 350 pounds, it takes more. It really has to do with individuals' metabolism, and pets as well. Although she did have it broken down into pets under 10 pounds, 10 to 30, 30 to 50, and over 50. So I'll see if I can make that. And it's a great place to start. And as somebody said, you observe your animal's behavior. You know, if they're skittish when you leave them alone, you know, and you try it, and if that doesn't work, try a little bit more. Again, there's no side effects. The only thing is the cost associated with it. So you know, try it until you find something that works, just like for yourself. Same with your animals.
Hey, Jeff, Billy, it's Rachel.
I recognize that voice anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm in the background as always.
There's David. Are you doing your capsules?
Absolutely, I'm doing my capsules.
Good to talk to you guys. How you doing?
Good, very good.
I just wanted to share a few things. One, we just got our pet line today.
Awesome.
I bought one of everything because that's just how I roll.
She actually bought them, so when I'm in the house and she's not letting me have my human capsules, I can have the dog capsules.
There you go.
But anyhow, you know, many, I think, folks have joined our group. That's awesome. And I did post giving the human, you know, the normal natural tincture to 2 of our 3. They love it. I'm not kidding. And they are picky. We have 3 Shiloh Shepherds, and I couldn't believe how they were just like, they wanted more of the natural tincture. What I noticed with our oldest, who's on the hyper side, he got even more hyper. So I can see why, you know, the older dogs or dogs that have health conditions might really feel a lot better on these products. All right, let's just put it that way. So what my plan is to start with, because we have their ages are 6, 5, and 4 roughly. Yes, 3 male dogs. Is to start them on the capsules tonight. They're tiny, by the way, if you guys don't have them, the same size as the human capsules. And I'll probably just put a little piece of Kraft cheddar cheese around it because they love cheese. And we're going to start with that in the evening. So we're going to give them the 3 dogs, a capsule each in the evening. And I'm going to roll with that for a couple days, right? And just kind of see what I notice from that. And I love that the phytoplankton is in the capsules as well as the syringe, right?
Yeah.
But I know they love the tincture. They love the natural tincture, you guys. I can't tell you. The third one's just skittish about anything like in his mouth. Like he's like, what? You know? So anyways, we're really excited. We'll be definitely in the group, as you know, Jeff, how we are with Facebook and our group, promoting
Awesome.
You know, how this goes and what our journey is. But yes, none of these boys that we have health issues. But I'm looking at it as a preventative maintenance. There's so many benefits. And then we're going to use the tincture. David doesn't know this yet. This shall be interesting on the cats. We adopted 2 cats. One's an older cat. So we actually are going to kind of play around with this. The other thing I wanted to point out was that many times the key to my success has been when people tell me they're already using CBD products for themselves, or I was literally messaging a woman the other night on Messenger, never commented on any of my posts. She just out of the blue said, so here's, I'm using something already. So why are your products better? And I said, can you just please send me a picture of the front and back of the product that you're using? And people don't have a problem taking a picture of the front and back and I want the back so I can see the ingredients. The front, I want to see what brand it is, right? And that kind of thing. And I'm not kidding you. I looked at this and I was like, okay, I can't even tell you what it was. And I'm like, where'd you get it? She's like, on Amazon. I was like, okay. So it had a website on it. They don't have a website, number one, right? Right. And number two, it's hemp oil. God knows what's in this stuff, okay? Bottom line is, she's been giving it to her dog. Now she's getting ready to place an order for the tincture with me, probably this Thursday or Friday. Please ask people if they say they're using something. Say, great, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear but send me a picture where you're using front and back. And it will generate a conversation that you will research and you will win out on every time. So I just wanted to say that's been a real key to our success. And we're real excited about the pet products. So,
and I think that's the background noise, by the way, is one of the dogs trying to break in.
It's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, Rachel, because I get approached with people who say, well, what about this product? Send me a picture of this, picture of that. And I've done a lot of research. And again, I'm not here to put anybody else's product down. But if they're looking for an honest comparison, I can tell them why we're better than the product they sent. I can tell them specifically why. It's astounding to me how many companies that actually will have an inferior process, yet with some very skilled marketers, will actually make it sound like that's a good thing, if that makes sense. They'll twist it around to make it sound something a part of their process is actually intentional. But basically it's an inferior process. And again, not that we need to go into it all now, but there's so many steps of this process that we don't even really talk about with regard to, again, the extraction process itself, but also the solvent used, whether it's CO2, supercritical CO2, or whether it's, once again, ethanol. And then the additional steps involving the cryosonics, the winterization like that we talked about. As we know, hemp plants, and by the way, there's a lot of companies out there, again, I heard something the other day was called full spectrum hemp oil. And it's like, there's no such thing. Hemp oil is from the seeds of the hemp plant. And I will tell you, as a product, isn't even close to ours in terms of effectiveness and integrity. But again, they'll make it sound like that's some sort of selling point. But I described this to somebody yesterday I was meeting with. A hemp plant, and it's a feeder plant. There's a phrase for it, Billy, where basically they actually went to Chernobyl and planted hemp plants because hemp basically will absorb all the stuff in the soil, and they actually planted hemp plants around Chernobyl to soak the radiation particles out of the soil. But what happens is if you don't do an additional cryosonic step to your extraction, you're going to be left with a lot of what they call heavy metals that may make it through into the product. And so there's so many steps. I can't even continue on a weekly basis telling you why our product is the best out there for so many different reasons. And I'll close with this. Not only is it the best product, I've also been investigating a lot of compensation plans recently. And I'll tell you, we also have the best compensation plan. So we'll keep feeding you this information so everybody feels confident and kind of knows what we're on the verge of doing and what we've been kind of introduced to and fortunate enough to get in at this level of this. So anyway, Billy, do you have anything else, or if there's any more questions?
I think that was great. A great way to. I use that, and I just want to kind of close it. I love when people tell me that they're taking CBD products, and at that point, it's kind of my objective is to never bash anybody else, but to simply show them have and why it's better. That's that's the biggest thing is we're not working with a less superior product. We're working with something that's very special and unique. There's a lot of CBD out there, and there's some good CBD companies. But what we have is FSC, and I want everybody to realize that and pound that in your head. This is the best, and it works. So, I tell you it works. The best thing we can do is open up and try this, and they'll call you back. And Jeff was a prime example, and I loved the way that he followed up with our conversation. The first time that we spoke about reaction in My Life Simple, came back in the next day saying he hadn't slept that good in 10 years or 20 years. Now that's special. And I know I'm missing it all the time. We have someone like him now up here helping lead these Zooms because he's so passionate. Go find yourself a Jeff and build this company up using someone like Jeff to your benefit. So thank you guys for
make an
us.
offer. Make an offer. I'm very cheap. I'm very inexpensive. Make an offer. And on that note, like I said,
I really appreciate you guys, and look.
That's it. And let's have some fun and feel good about what we're doing. And thanks really for tapping in tonight. We really appreciate it.
Hey, Billy, one quick question. How do I persuade Rachel to let me get a pig? How do I persuade Rachel to let me get a pig?
Oh, the best way, David, is just get it and ask for
forgiveness afterwards.
Yes, yeah. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. I believe that's kind of the way I went through life. It works pretty good.
Well, David, you jumped the gun. Like I said, next week we're going to be we're holding a drawing for a pig.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Alex, thank you for joining in. Let's connect about your question earlier, which I've now completely forgotten what it was, but I know we needed to answer something for you. So, all right, again, guys, thank you so much. Let's everybody have a great week. Have some fun, and believe what you're doing. Okay. There you go. Love that. All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everyone.